Pacing precision while handling business. Pacing precision while handling business. Pacing precision, pacing precision, pacing precision while handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pacing precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pacing precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. While I'm making decisions, God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart when I'm making decisions. Pacing precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making.
Yo, 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 what up, man? It's your boy CL back for episode 6. We 6 episodes in. Truly a blessing. Just want to again thank everybody that's been rocking with me up until this point. Appreciate all the love, the support, the comments, the likes, the subscribers, everything that you can think of, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, even if you're taking a little bit of time out of your day and watching the podcast, or even if you just got it on in the background in your car or something like that, because I know a lot of people, that's kind of how they listen to their podcasts and stuff like that. So I appreciate it, man. Any way that you taking time out to pay attention to what I got going on and just rocking with me, definitely appreciate it. Anyways, man, it's been a crazy week. Might as well just get right on into it, man. The biggest thing that's been going on this last week has been all over the place. I'm sure everybody's seen it or heard something about it. It's been this Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James drama. Man, this is truly crazy. And it's crazy on a lot of different fronts, honestly, man, because I know that, Stephen A has always had like his takes about, LeBron being the second greatest player that's ever played, and how he'll never end up live up to like Michael Jordan as far as he's concerned. He'll never, surpass Michael Jordan being number one, and and all that's fine and dandy. That's all basketball stuff. Like, who cares? But I do know, like, just from what you see on certain shows and what you hear about LeBron, that it definitely seems like he takes exception to it. Definitely seems like he has a problem, and as well he should. If you're a competitor, and you're one of the greatest to ever do anything, if you make it to that category as one of the greatest to ever do something, then naturally, if you're a true competitor, you're going to want to be the greatest at it. And while you're never going to be the greatest at anything in everybody's eyes, because everybody has a different opinion about who they feel is the GOAT or whatever you want to call it. So you're never going to get 100% buy-in from everybody. But I know it has to bother LeBron as a competitor to hear someone as prominent as Stephen A. Smith constantly tell him that there's nothing that he can do to ever be better than Michael Jordan or ever surpass Michael Jordan or whatever the case may be. But man, what just took place is this is not like has nothing to do with basketball, in my opinion. I've had a chance to sit back because I think it's happened over the weekend. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was like Saturday that this happened. I could be wrong, but I think it happened on Saturday. But whatever the case, so let's just get into it. LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers was playing against the New York Knicks. It was in LA. Stephen A. Smith coincidentally had literally just signed like this massive ESPN extension. They had just given him, he had already got the bag before when he got like I think he got like, it was like $50 million. It was like 5-year $50 million or something like that, or 4 years $50 million. And now he turns around and re-ups his contract, and he just got a 5-year $100 million. They said at least $100 million. That means that he has the ability to be able to make more than that, depending on what all he's willing to do. And coincidentally, on top of that, he's able to now. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to Stephen A. lately. He's been on like the Sean Hannity show and stuff like that on Fox. He's been like a kind of a daily, not daily, but like I wouldn't even say a weekly correspondent or a weekly guest, but he's been on there multiple times, and he's actually pretty Stephen A's always been like, he always does his homework and does his research, and not to get too off topic, but he's always been somebody that, he's got a journalist background. So I feel like he's somebody that's always, regardless of what you think, he always does his homework about whatever. You're not gonna catch him off guard. So even though these Fox these Fox news anchors and stuff be trying to catch him off guard, try to catch him slipping, man, I've watched a few episodes, and he's always prepared for it, man. So the point I was trying to make is, I guess ESPN is giving him the ability to be able to stretch his platform into politics and other things that he's wanting to kind of venture into, while at the same time, I guess they're allowing him to not be a full-time host on the NBA. What do you call it? The NBA pregame show that's on ESPN. Excuse me. So not only did he get the bag again, but he also kind of got more say so and more leverage as far as like what he's able to do, and in control of his own career path. So I think that's big, man. I think anybody that hates on Stephen A. Smith and what he tries to do, man, is kind of crazy. I'm not acting like I'm the hugest Stephen A. Smith fan, but I am a fan of his for sure. Like I feel like he's paving the way for a lot of different people to do, exactly what they're trying to do in this media space. So for that, man, I'll say congrats to Stephen A. for getting the bag again. So to go back to what my original point was, so Stephen A. was at this game between the Lakers and Knicks, and I caught wind of this like later. I was not watching this game. Let me just tell y'all right now, I wasn't watching the game. I caught like the highlights and everything like that, but I didn't actually see the game. But what happened was, apparently during the game, and it looked like when you first saw the video, it looked like it was something that took place like after the game, and that's what Stephen A. was adamant about. Like, everybody thought that it took place after the game, but it actually happened in between the third and fourth quarter, or I believe that's when it happened, between the third and fourth quarter. So LeBron had come out of like a timeout or whatever, and Stephen A. was like standing. If you watch the video, Stephen A. was standing up with. He said he was there with like his agent and like a couple other prominent people, and he was really just kind of coming out the hills and celebrating like this new deal that he had just gotten from ESPN. So he was kind of there as a fan, but more so like in the celebratory, in the celebratory mood, because of what he had just done. And apparently, like, he turns around, LeBron comes up to him, gets right in his face, and you could see like it was kind of crazy, man. Like, if you watch the video, like, you can see like LeBron like visibly like going off on him, man. And let me just quote what Stephen A. said, because he was on the Gilbert Arenas show, and he basically said, I turn around and he's right here in my face and says, "Yo, you got to stop talking ish about my son. You got to stop effing with my son. That's my son. That's my son." So, um, anyways, that happened, and I thought Stephen A. obviously took the high road, man. I don't really know what people expected him to do, or what what he was supposed to do in that instance, aside from what he actually did. Like, what was he gonna get into an arguing match with LeBron James, like on the sideline, right? I mean, that would have been the stupidest thing ever, man. He's over there celebrating his new success, his new contract. He gets blindsided by LeBron James, and it just, like, he handled it the best way that you could possibly handle it. Like, he was just calm. He was just like, all right, man, whatever. Like, you got this one. It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you why I do agree with Stephen A. Smith, and this is another quote that he had on Gilbert Arenas. He said, "I thought it was weak. I thought it was BS." Smith said, "But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father." So, um, just full transparency, man. Like, I'm pretty sure you've probably heard me say this before, but LeBron James, like, he's my favorite like basketball player all time. He truly is. I like everything that he's embodied, like everything he's had to endure. He's lived up to everything that everybody thought that he couldn't live up to. I mean, he had such high expectations, and he blew all of those out of the water, and he's still doing it. But I can't rock with LeBron on this one, man. This was just crazy. And I got to side with Stephen A. Smith. If I'm going to side with anybody, and it's more of a not necessarily who was wrong, it's more of a who was more right. And I think that in this situation, for one, to come up to him at the point in which you did at a game, at a public venue, you know, where everybody can see, because you definitely did that to try to make a point so that everybody can see, oh, I'm protecting my son, you know, whatever the case may be. And you wanted to make a spectacle of it because you knew that this is LA versus Knicks, you know, televised game. Everybody's watching it. You know what I mean? I just thought it was, I couldn't agree more with Stephen A. Smith. I just thought it was weak. And I don't know what LeBron was expecting Stephen A. to get, like if he was expecting him to clap back in that moment or whatever the case may be, but he has to know Stephen A. Smith is way smarter than that. And I can't rock with him on this one, man. Like I just really thought that I thought this was a garbage move. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was weak. And the one thing that you know, and the crazy part is, again, I've had time to watch a lot of people's takes on this. You know, I've saw like video footage of them showing like LeBron James talking to Richard Jefferson and basically just telling him like, yo, when you coming at me, you know, talking about like, you know, questioning how I'm, you know, me as a dad or whatever the case may be, like that's basically, he was saying like that's when you crossing the line. And I don't necessarily think that that's what Stephen A. Smith was doing. I don't think he was ever questioning him as a parent. In fact, Stephen A. Smith goes out of his way, whether he's doing it, whether he's doing it like as, you know, as I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but whether he's sincere in what he says, um, he goes on these little rants all the time. Like anytime, like he has something negative to say about LeBron, or somebody's questioning what he has to say about LeBron, he always gives you like this whole long spiel about, oh, you know, LeBron James is, you know, second greatest player in all of basketball history, and a great father, a great husband, a great this, that, and the other thing. And again, like whether he's doing it like half jokingly or not, which I believe he is, but I do believe there's truth to what he says as well. So I believe that, you know, I believe that Stephen A. Smith had no intentions of actually like questioning LeBron's, you know, his job as a husband, as a father, as any of that. And I get where Stephen A. Smith was coming from, but I also see LeBron James' side of it. You know, as a father of three myself, you know, your job is you know, to make sure you do everything you can to, you know, protect your kids and you know, love them and provide for them and just, you know, just do everything you can for them. But the thing that LeBron James has to realize is that your son is, you know, you can't protect him in the situation that he's in right now. You did your job, man. You and your wife Savannah have raised, to what my eyes tell me, an exceptional child, and three exceptional children so far. So you've done your job, man. You raised him. You had him in the best schools. You had him in the best basketball programs. You constantly were there, you know, cheering for him, rooting him on. You put the word out there that, you know, you wanted to play with him and that you would do whatever it takes to play with him, and you ultimately got him into the league. Like you did that. And for anybody that has anything negative to say about that, I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? Like we've talked about this, and people have talked about this since this was even a topic, as far as him getting Bronny James into the league. People have been doing this for centuries, you know, nepotism, whatever you want to call it. Like people have been getting their kids that are not qualified, and Bronny James at you know, largely is qualified to be in the position that he's in. Um, it's always a crapshoot when you get into the second round, and more importantly, when you get late into the second round. He was almost, basically he was almost not drafted at the position he was. I think he was drafted like 55th or something like that. So, you know, even though LeBron had extreme influence of him getting drafted, it wasn't far fetched to think that he wouldn't have gotten drafted on his own. Now maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe if he had stayed, maybe he had gone back to school for one more year, and showing himself a little bit more, then maybe he would have gotten drafted on his own merit. But LeBron was up against the clock, so LeBron was like, you know what, man, I'm getting older. I'm gonna put the pressure on the league, and that's just what happened. So you did your job, man. You got your son to the league, and whether people think he deserves it or not, who cares? He's there. And so, but once you did that, okay, man, like you can't save him anymore. There is no, you jumping in the water to save him from drown. Like he's gotta show and prove himself. And so the things that you were kind of doing, I get Stephen A's point. Is basically like, all right, Stephen A's whole thing was like, man, and even Stephen A said, like, I was there on the day that they walked on the court together for the first time and made history. He was like, I thought that was an amazing moment. The Griffeys were there. He was like, I just thought it was amazing. And he was basically like, okay, now it's time to go to the G League, man. It's time to build yourself up through the G League. And I couldn't agree more. Like, Bronny James, yes, did he get drafted? And is he an NBA player? Yeah, technically he is. But let's be honest, man. He definitely needed to develop more, and he needed to develop more in a lesser league. He needed to develop in the G League. And so he didn't really play all that much even when he was in college because he had the heart issue. And so he needs all the reps he can get, whether that be, NBA or G League, but I would say more so G League because he needs to build up not only does he need to build up his skill set, he needs to build up his confidence back. So I couldn't agree more with Stephen A when he was like, yo, you got to go. Okay, history was made. Now it's time to go to the G League. That it is what it is. So, so if you go back, man, and you really like, because I had a chance, and Stephen A was really good about it. I don't watch First Take a ton, or but I will say that I did tune in because I wanted to hear what Stephen A had to say about this particular thing, and then he kind of piggybacked off of that when he was on his own podcast, and then again further jumped into it more on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. And so so when he kind of when LeBron said what he said, and in his face or whatever, and then Stephen A had a chance to step back, a couple of days later, he had a chance to see like the interaction with Richard Jefferson and LeBron James on the sideline. He heard that, and he was like, okay, this wasn't about Bronny, this was about LeBron. And so Stephen A said, you basically just proved my point. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I think Stephen A's whole thing was just like, just you did what you needed to do, but now it's like, man, you got to stop this. Stop putting the pressure on the team to like give him playing time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like he just let everything else just kind of happen organically. And like I said, I thought that's the right way to go about it. I think it's truly unfortunate. And somebody said that, I forget who it was, maybe it was Ari Spears or somebody that was like, you would have never walked up on Skip Bayless like that. And I couldn't agree more. Why is it that as black men, we feel like we can get away with like embarrassing other black men, but we would never try that against a white man? And I'm going to go back all the way. I'm going to go back to, because I said this immediately after the Will Smith and Chris Rock incident. I swear to you, I said this immediately after this happened. When he slapped Chris Rock on stage, I said to everybody that wanted to hear, I was like, if that had been Adam Sandler that made that same joke, I promise you Will Smith wouldn't have done that to Adam Sandler. Because white people will sue the hell out of you in a heartbeat. And not that Chris Rock didn't. He did, obviously, which I'm glad that he did, because why would you want to do something like that? You know what I'm saying, to another brother, like in the eyes of the world. And I feel the same way about this incident. So whoever said that, I forget who it was, but whoever said that, they're absolutely right. Like, why do you feel like that, you could just go up to another black man, you know what I mean, and try to embarrass him in front of the world, and you would have never done that to a prominent white guy? If that was Colin Cowherd or Skip Bayless or somebody, you would have never done that. I promise you, you wouldn't have done that. And so I just have a big problem with it, man, because, and I don't want to turn this into a race thing, but it's just so obvious to me that, you know, I just don't think that if the shoe was on, I just don't think I don't think he would have done that. And like I said, it sucks because, you know, listen, man, like I said before, like I like Stephen A. Smith. I'm not the biggest fan or anything like that, but Stephen A. faces a lot of backlash for I think a lot of nonsense, bro. Like I just think it's so stupid when people try to come at him and basically try to pull his black card like he be like going at brothers and stuff like that all the time. I'm like, bro, like what are y'all talking about, man? Like he he's obviously very brash and very very upfront and vocal about his thoughts and how he feels or whatever. And I think that's just what anybody. That's just how he is. But as far as like him not supporting brothers and stuff like that, man, that's crazy. Like that dude does a lot. You know what I'm saying, for trying to put brothers on and stuff like, man, look at Kendrick Perkins would not stand a chance of getting and maintaining a job, on ESPN if it wasn't for Stephen A. Smith. I promise you that if it wasn't for Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins would not still be there. And it's not that Kendrick Perkins is, I mean, he's cool, like he's funny, he says some funny stuff, that's for sure. But they wasn't letting them type of brothers with the twang, a little southern twang and stuff like that, and how they talk, and they wasn't letting them kind of brothers on platforms like ESPN before Stephen A. Smith. I promise you they was not. You know what I'm saying? And Swagoo, man, and some of these guys, like Stephen A. Smith has a lot of influence on a lot of these guys. Now, conversely, Stephen A. got too much influence as it relates to other things, because I can promise you that, obviously he got Max Kellerman fired, which I like Max, but it is what it is. I definitely believe he got Jalen Rose fired. But that's just my thoughts. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I just think that once Jalen Rose and Molly split, I just think Stephen A. Maybe he was the cause of it. There's a lot of rumors going around about that, but that's another story for another day. But I just think once them two split, he was like, Molly must have went up to him and like, yo, I can't be working around him. Stephen A. like, all right, I got it. I'll handle it. We'll get him gone. Next thing you know, Jalen gone, man. So, so he's got positive influence and he's got negative influence, man. But regardless of what you think about him, like I said, man, I think it's crazy when people try to, say this wild stuff about how he just don't be supporting brothers and stuff like that, man. I think it's wild, but it is what it is, man. I mean, it's over and done with now, but I really truly hope that as two black men, man, I hope that Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, I'm not saying that they ever got to be friends or nothing like that, but I hope they get a chance to just sit down and just, just really just hash this out as men, man, because I just think this is stupid, man, and pointless and senseless, to be honest, man. Like you got two people that are at the top of their respective, fields. Stephen A is the top of the top when it comes to, sports media. He's there. He's at the top. LeBron James been at the top of, the NBA for pretty much since he walked into the league almost. So it would just be cool to see the two of them sit down, man, whether it's, whether it's Rich Paul, that kind of, because Stephen A. say he got Rich Paul number. He said he'd be hitting Rich Paul and Rich Paul be hitting him back or whatever. And, he said they be talking, and he said, Rich Paul's a class act and all of that. So I'm sure it wouldn't take much for them to be able to sit down and hash it out, because like I said, to me, this is just pointless and senseless. But again, I'm not saying they got to be best friends or buddies or anything like that, but man, it shouldn't be at a point where it's at right now where you just feel like you could just go up to somebody and just start verbally abusing them, man, in front of the world. So anyways, that's my take on it, man. Y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Was LeBron out of line? Was he on point? Was Stephen A out of line? Like, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. But anyways. talk about what's been going on in the NFL, man. So obviously it's free agency it's free agency signing period right now, and a lot of people been getting signed, a lot of trades been being made, stuff like that. Not gonna lie, man. As a Detroit Lions fan, I've not really been happy with our offseason so far. I'm just gonna keep it a beam with y'all, man. For me, it started off with I really don't know why we let D.O.C. Smith go, um, especially when you had no plans to get any of these other edge rushers. So you was just gonna run it back with Marcus Davenport. I really don't understand that. Like I like Marcus Davenport, but he's been injured like most of his career, even going back to when he was with the Saints. So you had a known commodity in D.O.C. Smith, who was only gonna, I think he was only gonna cost you guys like $5 million. Like for an edge rusher, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But once you let him go, I'm like, okay, Brad Holmes clearly has a plan in place, man. Like he ain't just gonna let somebody go that's only gonna be making like $5 million that had like 9 sacks last year. So he clearly has a plan. So as I told y'all before, for me, I was hoping that they were gonna go after Josh Sweat and Khalil Mack. Well, I saw instantly that Khalil Mack signed right back with with the Chargers. So I was like, well, he off the board. And then later on, I saw that Josh Sweat had signed this massive contract with the Cardinals. And when I saw the contract, I was like, Josh Sweat is a good player, but I'm so glad that we didn't sign him for what they signed him for, because that's crazy. Like, let me just make sure I'm not tripping, man. But I want to say like his highest like ever sack total was maybe like 7 or 8 sacks or something like that. Let me just make sure I ain't tripping though, man. Let me see. I don't even know what team he gonna show up on at this point, man. But let me see where he at. Oh, he had 8 sacks last year. Yeah, so he had 8 sacks last year, which was his. Obviously, a contract year. But before that, let me see. His rookie year, 0 sacks. Second year, 4 sacks. Third year, 6, 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely missed it. He had 11 sacks one year. So he's been pretty good. He's been a good edge rusher. Not great, in my personal opinion. Not $20 million a year great, but it was around $20 million that they signed him for, or 18 million or something like that. But either way, I just, we got Aiden Hutchinson coming up. His contract gonna be coming up next year, I believe. They'll probably re-sign him to a massive. He's gonna damn near be on a Myles Garrett type contract. I hope not, but it's hard to say that he won't. I mean, he's been really good since he got in the league. But once I saw like what they signed Josh Sweat for, I was just kind of like, yeah, y'all can have that, because we wasn't really in a position, even though we got plenty of cap space. I just think that would have been a stupid signing, which brings me back to my original point of why didn't you just keep, D.O.C. Smith at $5 million, regardless of if you were going to go get somebody else or not. Like that's such a small price to pay for a still somewhat premier edge rusher. I mean, he had 9 sacks last year, which is more than Josh Sweat. So I was a little upset about that. I was happy about the DJ Reed signing. I think DJ Reed. I'm not going to say he fits better than Carlton Davis does, but Carlton Davis got a lot more money from New England than we paid DJ Reed. And DJ Reed's been really good alongside Sauce Gardner. In fact, I would argue he's been better than Sauce Gardner. Sauce had like the big rookie year, and his second year was okay. But he's been kind of like dipping down, ever since his rookie year. And that's hard for me to say because that's a Detroit boy right there. So I want to see him do good. But I mean, many would argue that DJ Reed's been playing even better than Sauce Gardner. And you might make the claim that maybe he's been playing better because Sauce usually locks up or usually follows the well, he doesn't follow him, but he usually has the number one receiver most of the time. But regardless, I was definitely happy about that. Like I said, we did re-sign Davenport, so if he's healthy, he is a good player, but he's almost never healthy. So that's my biggest problem. So then I'm looking like, okay, I saw that there was rumblings about the Chargers. They were going to cut Joey Bosa. I'm like, well, let's go get Joey Bosa then. Didn't go get him. I'm like, all right, maybe they trying to make a trade for Trey Henderson, which would be stupid to me again, because if you go back to me saying I didn't want them to make the Myles Garrett trade because it was going to cost us way too much. Trey Hendrickson wants some ridiculous amount of money too. And it's not that he's not a really good edge rusher, because he is. We have so many other players that are coming up. Like, we're going to have to pay Jameson. We just paid Barnes, Derek Barnes. We like I said, Aiden's coming up. Excuse me. Jameer's coming up. So like, we're going to have to pay these guys, coming up. So we can't tie up a bunch of money in these premier edge rushers. You got to be really strategic in who you go get. So, I thought once Joey Bosa came up, like, all right, maybe that's somebody that we'll go after. We just, like I said, I haven't really been that impressed with our offseason thus far. We signed a D tackle from the Cardinals, which we just signed him to a 1-year deal. I can't remember his name right now, but let me see if I pulled him up. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but no big splash plays or nothing like that. So I just think that our GM man and Dan Campbell, I think they're just banking on hitting in the draft, which they've can't question what they do in the draft, because they've definitely been really good with drafting and developing players so far. So so I'm gonna trust the process. Actually, I'm not using that term again. Joel Embiid and them boys, they ruined it for me, man. But I'm gonna trust that our management is gonna do what they're supposed to do, and I'm gonna trust that they're gonna surround our guys, with the right pieces to be successful. So we'll see how it goes. But let's look at some of these other big names that got signed. We already talked about Josh Sweat to the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins to Baltimore. I don't really know how I feel about this, man. Like, DeAndre Hopkins, to me, like, he's definitely like on the downslope of his career. Like, if you couldn't get it done with Patrick Mahomes and like everything that they had over there, and I'm not saying it was his fault by any means, but I just thought he looked okay with Patrick Mahomes. I never thought that like he looked great or anything like that. And so I just think at this point, I mean, honestly, you know what? When I think about it, he actually might be what Baltimore needs, man, because you already got the speedy Zay Flowers. You already got, like I guess if you want to call it like the deep threat. And what's my man's name? I can't think of it right now. Anyways, let me see. It'll come to me in a minute. But so maybe at this point, man, if you put DeAndre Hopkins like in the slot, or something like that, or maybe I mean, he is a good possession receiver. You know what I mean? So maybe it might work. I don't know. I think he kind of like on the tail end of his career, man. Let me see. Oh, Rashad Bateman, that was the other kind I was thinking about. But he could be serviceable in that offense, man. But like I said, I just don't think he's like that clear. Like, he's not that number one receiver anymore. Like, he could be decent in a good offense, but I think his like really really good days are over. So, okay, signing, nothing really too crazy. Uh, Josh Allen, man, Josh Allen got the big 6-year, $330 million contract. Um, I told y'all before, man, Josh Allen, my favorite quarterback, and I'm glad to see him get the bag. But real talk, man, I would have traded Jared Goff and a bunch of picks to get Josh Allen on my line, man. I swear, I love the way Josh Allen played, man, and I just think he a beast. But he got the bag with Buffalo, $250 million guaranteed. They also signed their young edge rusher Greg Rousseau to 4 years, $80 million, which I actually think that was a smart signing because he's been really good since he came into the league. I think he came out of Miami, and it's better to catch him. Better to catch him on like a middle tier type contract before they start demanding like that crazy money. Um, so to this, he has basically the same contract as Josh Sweat, but he's 4 years younger or something like that than Josh Sweat. So to me, this contract makes way more sense than the Josh Sweat contract. But I thought that was a good signing for them. And then they also picked up the aforementioned Joey Bosa for $12 million a year. And Joey's been on the decline to a certain degree. I mean, he's had some injuries and stuff, but to get him for what they got him for and to pair him alongside with the Greg Rousseau, and then you got what's my man Ed, their defensive tackle Ed Oliver. You know what I mean? They got rid of Von Miller, but you got some pieces on that line, man. I think they're going to be a really good formidable line. So I thought they made some really good moves. Carolina signed J.C. Horn to the largest contract, I believe, by a cornerback. So he got 4 years, $100 million, which I think that's more than Pat Surtain. And I don't think he's not even close to being a better player than Pat Surtain, but I get it. It's like next man up mentality. The same thing with like these quarterbacks and receivers and stuff. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine what Jamar Chase about to get, man. Like he holding them boys ransom right now for the bag. He already talking about he want the highest non-quarterback contract, and this is why teams are stupid. And I I don't know when to get sidetracked too much, man. But this is why teams are stupid. This is why I appreciate my GM for getting these deals done early, because you see some of these organizations like the Cowboys and the Bengals, and just some of these organizations and the 49ers, like you keep waiting and waiting and waiting. The contract's never going to go down. It's only going to go up. So you might as well get ahead of it, man, and just pay them. And because I promise you, man, like whatever it is that what Fat Joe say? Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Every day you keep waiting and another contract go by, somebody else is getting paid and somebody else is setting the bar this much higher, this much higher, this much higher. So y'all doing yourself a disservice by prolonging the inevitable, man. If you know that for a fact that you're signing somebody to a contract, stop playing games and just sign them to the contract. Get it out the way. That way you can, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna sound crazy in that moment, but guess what? Next year it's gonna be 10 other contracts that's higher than that one, and we'll be talking about how you got a bargain because you signed them early. So again, man, I can't praise my GM Brad Holmes enough for like just getting these deals out the way. It's just one. I hope he signs Jameson Williams right now, and I hope he gives Jameson. And it's not even that Jameson Williams up until this point has been deserving of a Devontae Smith contract because he's had the suspensions, he's had the injuries. You know what I mean? He's just done a lot of dumb things. But you're paying him early. For one, you're paying him off his potential, but for two, you're getting it out the way early so that you can come in a little bit less. Because if he has the type of season that I think he's going to have next year, then he's going to be talking about something crazy like some AJ Brown money or something. So go ahead and get him like a little $26 million a year contract, something like that. Get it out the way. You know what I mean? That way you got these staggered contracts. That's another thing. You got these staggered contracts so that none of them are, right in line with the next one. And you know what I mean? So it allows you the freedom to be able to constantly, like, each year sign somebody else that you might need to sign, whatever the case may be. I mean, it don't seem like rocket science to me, but I ain't no GM. But yeah, I don't understand these teams though, man. Like, y'all quit playing with these dudes. Just get them the bag, get it out the way, bro. Rip the Band-Aid off, get it out the way. I know it's easy for me to say it ain't my money, but at the end of the day, man, I don't feel sorry for no GM owner. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all just collect checks. You know what I'm saying? So end of the day, man, cut that man a check, get it out the way early and just let them go out there and ball. One less thing for y'all to worry about, one less thing for them to worry about. But anyways, y'all garbage. organizations keep running the teams the way y'all want to run it. You know what I mean? Keep driving up that price. It is what it is. Anyways, obviously the Myles Garrett got the crazy $160 million. Man, I can't even lie. I was so baffled when I saw this. I mean, the way this dude was talking all that tough talk about how he was wanting to, leave Cleveland and all this stuff, man. Like, this made no sense. This absolutely made no sense to me, bro. You were going to get that kind of contract. I don't care where you went to. So, excuse me. So clearly, like, you weren't all that concerned about leaving Cleveland like you say you were, because I don't care who traded for you. You were going to get. Maybe you wasn't going to get 40 million. Maybe you were only going to get 36 million or 38 million, whatever the case may be. But you were going to get probably the same amount of guaranteed money no matter what. And that's really what matters, is the guaranteed money. So this made no sense to me whatsoever. I have no clue why Myles Garrett, if he really truly wanted out of Cleveland, I have no clue why he signed this contract. So that tells me that, hey, what they say back in the day, man, must be the money. What Nelly say, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like I said, man, this one left me scratching my head. I can't even lie. But hey, hopefully, maybe they sold Myles Garrett on some plan that they got to draft Cam Ward or Shador or somebody like. I don't know, man. But regardless, I don't know what the hell Cam or Myles Garrett was thinking, but it is what it is. I thought two teams made some really good signings, man. Actually, three teams. Nothing crazy, you know what I mean? Well, I thought one of them made a really good signing, and one just re-signing of their player. I thought the Tampa Bay made a really good signing in Hassan Reddick. I mean, they got him for, I think, like $12 million or something like that, or $14 million. Let me see. What did they get him for? Where does this say? Oh yeah, so they got him for $14 million. I thought he's another guy that I wish my Lions would have went after, man. When you start seeing like the contracts that some of these premier edge rushers are getting, and he's been really good for at least the last 5 or 6 seasons. He's undersized. I know I don't want to keep bringing it back to the Lions, but hey, that's my team. So I know the Lions have like this. They have like this prototype edge rusher that they like to shoot for, like this. Like they want guys that are like 6'5", 260 or something like that. Who the hell doesn't want that kind of player? But those, if a guy's 6'1", 6'2", 240, and he gets to the quarterback, who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, like, all you care about is him getting to the quarterback. I don't care what size he is, So, and he's proven. So this was a great move for Tampa Bay, and then re-signing Chris Godwin obviously was another really good move. Chris Godwin was balling last year before I think he tore his ACL, but he was absolutely balling. And if he comes back and he's fully healthy, this was a great move. So I thought they made really good moves there. I thought that Denver made two really good moves. They pulled two players off of the 49ers, two prominent players from the 49ers defense. They signed Dre Greenlaw, and they signed, what's his name? How you say it? Hufanga. They signed Hufanga, the safety, too. So, or he's a safety or a linebacker, I can't remember. But so they signed those two guys, and those are two really, really good players. They both got injured, and so obviously, Broncos are betting on them coming back from injury and like being, back to the players that they were. But I thought those were two really good players that they signed. I thought the Chiefs made two, like, everybody plucking the 49ers players, man. I thought the Chiefs took two of their players too, but I thought these were two really good, like, low key moves. And if my fantasy football boys is watching, man, I'll be stealing my ideas. But I thought that KC made a good move getting Eli Mitchell, so I might take him next year in fantasy. He's a low key beast. And then they got the guy that was filling in for Trent Williams. What's his name? Jalen Moore, or Jalon Moore, Jalen Moore. But he was filling in for Trent Williams. and they signed him to they signed that kid to like a relatively cheap contract, given how he performed when Trent Williams was out. So they got him for 2 years, $30 million. So I think that this is why I like Brett Veach, man, and why I think he's one of the best GMs out there. These are two like low key underrated signings. Now I know the Chiefs, they got plucked from a couple of their linemen and stuff like that, Tooney and forget who else, but they're banking on like the young guys that they drafted the young guy that they drafted last year, and then this Jalen Moore cat, they're banking on them. Plus, obviously, they're going to end up re-signing what's his name, Trey Smith. So they're banking on all their young guys to, and then they still got Creed Humphrey. So all these guys to get it together and get it together pretty quick. So I thought these were two really good signings. And then let's see who else, man. Obviously, Devontae Adams got the contract with LA. He's been trying to get back to LA for which he's not. I don't even think he's from LA. I think he's actually from like more of the Bay Area. I think that's where he's from originally. But but when he was the whole thing was when he was trying to get back to Oakland because that was obviously closer to where he was from. And I think the first year he got there, I think that was the year they started in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know. I could be wrong. Y'all get in the comments, let me know. But either way, so he's back in California where he wants to be. That's actually I think that's actually going to end up being a super super dangerous team, man. As much as I hate to admit it, man, because I don't like Stafford, man. I just don't. But I just think that they're going to be. I think an underrated guy that they lost though, and is Demarcus Robinson, man, because he made some really big plays last year. I think he went to I forget where he went to, man, but he's really really underrated for that team. And he used to be on the Chiefs. I think he was on the Chiefs when they won like their first Super Bowl, and he made some key plays for them. So he's always been one of those like underrated receivers. He's not his numbers aren't going to jump out at you or anything like that, but he's always reliable. He's always serviceable. You know what I mean? And he just makes good play. He makes plays, timely plays. So I think losing him, they're going to feel that a little bit more than what they might think, because he was one of Stafford's guys that Stafford really liked to go to. Excuse me. But yeah, Devontae signing there was big. Obviously, they're talking about cutting Cooper Kupp. So I actually hope my Lions pick him up. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with y'all, man. I'm hoping that the relationship that Brad Holmes may have with him from when I'm sure Brad Holmes had a hand in drafting Cooper Kupp because he was one of their scouts or whatever at the time. And so I'm hoping that they pick him up. I think that he would fit perfectly alongside Amon-Ra and J-Mo. And even if we bring back Tim Patrick, I just think Cooper Kupp would fit in our offense great. I'm sure he's got other suitors like probably Kansas City or somebody like that. But I hope we go after him if they do let him go. I don't think he's the same Cooper Kupp as he was before, obviously, but yeah, I mean that's not really that far off to say it. I mean, the dude was a Triple Crown winner like 3 years ago, so it's kind of hard to be able to live up to that standard. But I still think he's a really good receiver. So, but anyways, I think a lot of people was probably shocked about Justin Fields to the Jets, 2 years, $40 million. If anybody that knows me knows that I've been a huge Justin Fields fan. I've been a Justin Fields fan, and it's hard for me to say this because I'm a Michigan fan. But when I watched him at Ohio State, man, I thought Justin Fields was the truth, man. And so I've been a fan of his ever since he stepped in the league. Now I know he's had some ups and downs, and he probably hasn't developed the way that he should have developed. But there's a lot that goes into why he didn't develop the way that he should have developed. He's always had, first of all, he's had different head coaches, like for a couple, like 3 out of his 4 years in the league or whatever he's been in the league for 5 years or whatever. He's had like 3 or 4 different head coaches. He's had defensive-minded coaches, for a few of those years. But then he had Matt Nagy for, I think, his first year. And Matt Nagy being there just proved to me that he was not the guy that was running stuff and running plays in Kansas City. It was all Andy Reid because he couldn't get out of his own way, whether it was Trubisky, whether it was Justin Fields, whoever it was. So I just feel like there's a lot that goes into just judging Justin Fields based off of the fact that he didn't progress the way that we would have liked to seen him progress. But I have always been a fan, and for the record, and I got a guy that I work with who's a big Chicago Bears fan, and I literally told him that I thought that Justin Fields was better than Caleb Williams, who they were thinking about drafting. This was last year when they were deciding whether or not they were going to keep Justin Fields or whatever they're going, which everybody already knew they were going to go with Caleb. But I just feel like if, and I know there's probably been a lot of people that have had a similar take or the same take, but tailor the offense to Justin Fields, man. That's all you have to do. Now, Justin Fields has to be better. He is not getting away out of this scot-free by any means. Like he makes bad plays and stuff too. He takes a lot of sacks that he shouldn't take. He definitely does not anticipate throws the way he should and throw guys open. But I do think that you can coach those things into him. And so I feel like to give up on a guy that's 24 years old, I think he's 24, 25, something like that. To give up on a guy like that who hasn't really had the greatest, the greatest coaching or the greatest he's had some good players. So I'm not going to act like he hasn't had good, but he's never had a good offensive line ever. He's never had a good offensive line throughout the entirety of his career. So I think if you're able to give him a good line, give him a good OC. He's got Garrett Wilson there. He played with him in college, so you can start there, draft another receiver. I feel like give him a chance, man, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you that this year for me is definitely like a make or break year for Justin Fields. I'm a fan of his, but at this next year is make or break, and definitely in this 2 years this is make or break for me, man. I will be off the Justin Fields train. Pause if he don't get it, if he don't start to look more like an NFL quarterback. But again, I am a fan, and I do want to see what he does with the Jets. So good signing by Aaron Glenn, man, and the Jets. And I hope Justin Fields. I hope he works out for you guys. Man, I still don't really know what to think about this DK Metcalf trade to the Steelers. Like they still don't even know who their quarterback's gonna be, and I they talking about bringing in Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, they have been talking back and forth between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and clearly Justin Fields is gone now. But I still don't know what to think about this, man. I feel like it makes sense to bring back Russ more so than Aaron Rodgers. Just get him a line. You know what I mean? Like that, especially if you can get Russ for a fairly decent contract. I mean, Russ is at a point right now where he better not be asking for more than $15 or $20 million a year. Honestly, like the suitors are not there anymore. And Russ, you made a lot of money, man. And I'm a fan of yours, man. I always have been. But you cannot be picky and choosy about where you go. Otherwise, unless you plan on playing the sitting out game and just waiting for somebody to get injured. You know what I mean? But at this point, if you're trying to come into the league season to have all the time that you need to get acclimated to a team and have the off season and do everything that you need to do, training camp, this ain't the time to be playing no games, man. So I know you gave the Steelers a discount last year with $1 million a year, but you were still getting paid $30-something million a year from Denver. So now ain't the time to really be playing games, man. But I'd like to see them bring Russ back. I don't know what they're gonna do with Pickens because there's no way in hell they're keeping both DK Metcalf and Pickens. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Pickens fan anyway, so I'm just not a fan of the drama receivers, man. Like they annoy the hell out of me, especially the ones that are like drama receivers that don't really produce like that. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if you Antonio Brown and you was putting up crazy numbers and you bring some drama with you. You know what I mean? But or T.O. when he was back in the days when he was produced, but you wouldn't even produce like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, are you good on 50-50 balls, stuff like that? Yeah, sure. You catch those. That's all good. But you don't really even produce like that to be just out here wilding out the way that you be throwing these tantrums and stuff like that. So for me, man, he got to go. It's real simple, man. He got to go. I'm not saying he's not a decent player. You know, I think he probably has a pretty high ceiling, but I don't like all the nonsense that come with it, man. It's just too much, and it don't seem like Tomlin really like it either. He kind of a no nonsense kind of coach anyway. So I can definitely see them moving him here, you know, before the draft or right around the draft or something like that. But but yeah, man. I mean, I thought some of these contracts was crazy. I did like the Steelers picked up Kenneth Gainwell. That was good. That was a sneaky little good pickup too. But Sam Darnold, man, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks for $100.5 million. Oh my God, bro. I swear, man, I really need to, I need to lace him up right now, man. I promise you, bro. Like, I need to lace him up. I'm 46. I need to lace him up right now because these contracts is just getting stupid in every sport. They just getting stupid, man. Like, Sam Darnold has shown you throughout his entire career that he is garbage. I did not know what people saw in him when he came out of the draft. I never thought he was a good player. And I was wrong about a couple of guys in that draft. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I thought he was garbage. I thought Josh Allen was gonna be garbage, and I just thought those two were gonna be bad. I thought Baker was gonna be good. I thought Lamar was gonna be good, and I was wrong about Josh Rosen. I thought Josh Rosen was gonna be good. Josh Allen, clearly, I was wrong about. Sam Darnold, definitely wasn't wrong about him, and obviously, I was wrong about Josh Rosen. Baker turned out decent, and Lamar obviously turned out to be a stud. But I never ever saw what the NFL saw in Sam Darnold, and it's shown throughout his career. Now you can say that he's had some shaky coaching and stuff like that too, bro. But you've been in the league way longer than Justin Fields has, and you have one good season under a great head coach that's also your offensive coordinator, and with all world wide receiver talent and running back, and you know what I mean, like a really good tight end, and you have all these weapons around you, and you have a really good season, but you choke in the end. To me, is like for Seattle to give him $100 million contract, 55 guarantees. So I mean, I guess if you want to call it like a 2 year, 55 million, whatever. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. I just think it's crazy, man. Like, I think that I don't think he's going to come close to replicating what he had this year or what he had last year in Minnesota. But hey, whatever, man. Good for you, Sam Darnold, for getting the bag. I feel the same way about you as I feel about Justin Fields, and I feel even stronger about you because now you done got the bag. Like, this is pretty much a prove it year. You got 1 year to prove it for me as far as Seattle, and I'm like I already was off the Darnold train anyways, pause. But like I'm really like I really will not be ever considering you a NFL quarterback again after this. But hey, whatever, man. You got the bag, and you know it is what it is. So, anyways, the other good moves. The last team I'm gonna talk about because I think they've been making some really solid moves too. Is the Commanders? They obviously traded for Debo. I believe we talked about that last week, but I thought that this trade that they made for Laramie Tunsil, which I'm still scratching my head for Houston for making that trade. Like, your line was awful last year, and he was your best lineman, and you decided to trade him away. I have no clue what the hell you guys were thinking about, with that trade, but great for the Commanders. Like, I guess the Commanders looked at Houston like, Houston was what they were last year. Houston was that the year before, and they were like, all right, we're going to double down on the season that we had, with our rookie. We're going to do everything we can to go all in and, to make, to try to make this run. So I guess the Commanders are looking at it from that same standpoint. And I think they're even taking it a step further because really, like, if you look back to what the Texans did, the Texans, yeah, they went all in from like a standpoint of like they brought in Stephon Diggs as a weapon, and they brought a bunch of defensive players in, Danielle Hunter, and obviously they had already drafted Will Anderson, and like they brought in a bunch of defensive players, but they didn't do what they needed to do as far as like building the protection around C.J. Stroud, and that's where you have to start at. You got to start in the trenches. And so I think the Commanders are taking the approach of like, yeah, we want to build off of our last season the same way the Texans wanted to, but we're gonna do it from a inside out perspective. And so I really like the move that they made with trading for Tunsil, and then they also picked up Javon Kinlaw on the defensive side too. Again, building it in the trenches. Um, so yeah, the Commanders made some really good moves, man. They're definitely going to be a dangerous team, especially even if Jaden plays the way he played last year. Like he doesn't even necessarily have to play better because he played really good last year. So even if he plays at the level that he played at last year, they're going to be a dangerous team again. So yeah, man. Kudos to the Commanders. They're doing what they need to do, and I'm gonna look forward to see what the rest of this free agency period has, and kind of see what everything is. Everything's looking like as we move towards the draft. Anyways, man, now I want to get into this music right quick, man. I had, just full transparency, I had a different artist I was going to talk about today. I wanted to take y'all back, man, to this other artist or these artists that I really wanted to talk about because I really love what they brought to the table, and I'll get into it. I'll probably get into it next week, or definitely sooner than later. But I was watching. I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this on one of my threads. I was watching the Drink Champs episode with Nelly on there, and they were talking about whatever they were talking about, and somehow the D.O.C. came up, and obviously Nelly was talking about, man, the D.O.C. And it was so dope, and I just had to. I had to bring it. I had to bring the D.O.C. up. I had to bring it in, man. That's what I had to do, man. So that's what we talking about today, man. We talking about the D.O.C. straight out of Dallas, Texas. We're gonna talk about the D.O.C. No One Can Do It Better album, man. Let me just say right now, my dad, um, God rest the dead, man. My dad passed away several years ago. But my dad, man, was like, he was the first person that I heard bumping this album right here, man. And man, I cannot tell you, I cannot tell you how dope this album was, man. And just, I don't even, I know I know that they've had there's been some interviews, and it might have even been on Drink Champs actually. I think Nori might have interviewed Snoop and Dr. Dre. Now he might have asked Dr. Dre how he found the D.O.C. I don't know I don't remember what the answer was, or I don't remember how he discovered the D.O.C. Being from that the D.O.C. was from Dallas, and obviously Dre was out in Compton, but whoever put him on to the D.O.C. I think what I think. I feel like maybe Dr. Dre said he has some family or something out there, and they put him on to it, or he said he had some people out there that put him on to the D.O.C. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like it was something along those lines. But whoever put him on to the D.O.C., man, thank you, because this brother right here, man, I tell you what, man, this would have been, if he hadn't gotten into that car accident, man, and tore up his larynx, he would have been one of the dopest MCs to ever do it, bro. He was so ahead of his time with this album. And it was not even just from a standpoint of lyricism. It was he was mixing all these different styles in, you know what I mean? He was doing stuff that cats wasn't even doing. He was one of the first cats that I heard rap real fast. You know what I mean? He was you know what I mean? The Bone Thugs and stuff like that. He just had these different styles, man, that he was utilizing on that album. I just thought he was super super dope, man. And I want to go through this track list, man. I don't know if I can play this because the last time I tried to play some music, um, YouTube had an issue with it, man. So I'm gonna try to play a little bit anyways. Whatever, man. Hopefully YouTube, man. I don't even know how to get a hold of y'all. So please, I've been looking all online trying to figure out who I can talk to about, what I'm allowed to do on here and what I'm not. If somebody, please get in the comments if somebody like a YouTube veteran or something, y'all please tell me what I'm able to do, man. Because man, I'm playing joints like off my own Spotify, and like YouTube is telling me like there's an issue with that. But either way, man, I'm like I say, man, I just this cat right here, man, truly was one of the best, man, to do it, and at least for his short period of time. So without further ado, man, let's get into it, man. Let's play this first joint. And he just right out the gate, he just gets right into it. This was one of the singles too. Let's play It's Funky Enough. Here we go.
One, and it comes to two to the three and four. Then I got the beat I have in store. Leg, dynamics on the top like a rock, making sound smoother than I make a dub. Enunciate well, so that you can tell. I am not illiterate, I'm not even a little bit. Nothing like an idiot. Get it? You want the record? Cool, I'm with it. Let the rhythm check you, shake it cause it makes you. As I bring them out to the door, you will step through. Going like a knot, don't be a punk. And I let it play cause dress ain't funky enough.
Come on, man. Man, bro, what? The D.O.C, man. Oh, bro. Hold up, man. Check out this next joint, man. Let's check out this mind blowing right quick.
This is serious business. Y'all ready to get hyped for what? We're right about now the dark end. This house in the set, center stage, pumping it just like this. A little something for the brethren with intellect to truly understand this. It's like a message from the one who's getting canvas. Making a mark on the strength with rhyming like nothing. When you're pumping, something that's bumping in. Cause it's like I had to make one better than the last one. Don't some mistake none, but something new. Proceeded in the mix too. Make it as legal, so legal that I would think you couldn't be made to invade certain areas.
That's all I'm gonna give y'all, man. Like I said, I don't know all the I don't know all the rules and regulations. I'm figuring it out, man. But that's that mind blowing. Let me give y'all let me see. Let me give y'all something that man. Actually, this next joint is one of my favorites too. Let me play that right quick.
A little bit better than dope biz. A brand new kid to show biz. When knowledge I persevere, Papa, now do me a favor. Let me in here. Then we can find a rhyme to fill in space and drop the bass with a taste of light, lyrical affection. Tear my clip to a open your mind like a Christmas gift. It's 89, the new school is leading. Original, see nobody can do it like we did. The deal to the seal, the two-star trio. Theo, Miles, spin a chop like a gyro. Hard, dangerous, suckers ain't know this. Cut it wrong, why? Cause they can't hang with this. Look to break. Man, I take a second to rock a rhythm. It stay smooth like a prism. A portrait of a masterpiece is bookie enough. Eventually it has to be a little stronger. So I made that a mistake. I'm too much on the hype tip.
Boy, what? Man, come on, bro. Get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know what's up with that D.O.C, man. Was y'all banging that back in the day or what? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna let y'all know when I first moved to Indianapolis or the Indianapolis area, I was here for probably like a month or two, right? And I don't know what happened, man, but I just remember this one day, I was like, I really wanted this D.O.C CD, bro. I wanted it back. It this tells you how long ago this was. We were still banging CDs, but I remember finding this. Record store down in Indianapolis, right off Keystone. I don't even know if they're still in business anymore, but I was I was calling around a few different places, man. Like like the little mall type stores, like the little Sam Goody type stuff, and them stores. And they were like, "No, we ain't got that." I remember calling this old record store down off Keystone, and dude was like, "Yeah, we got it." And I was like, "Bro, you got it for real?" He's like, "Yeah, we got it, man." Bro, I shot down there so fast, bro. I'm telling you right now, I shot down to this store so fast, man, and grabbed this CD because I just like right now, man. Like I said, watching that interview on Drink Champs with Nelly, man. It just sometimes, man, when you it's not that you forget about stuff. It's just like there's so much other music right now that's going on that you listening to. Sometimes you kind of like, for lack of a better word, you kind of forget like, damn, how dope something else was. And so I'm really glad that I don't watch Drink Champs a ton anymore because I just be so busy with life. But I wanted to catch this particular episode, man, because I'm a big Nelly fan too. But when he said that, I was like, yep, that's got to be the next thing. So, anyways, man, I copped the CD. I don't remember the name of the record store, but I appreciate y'all for having it. And it just brought me back. So, anyways, man, let's get into the title track. No One Could Do It Better.
No one can do it better. No one can do it better. No one can do it better. This is the 1 to 2, so it's not a question. Not to be taken as a simple suggestion, but a warning. The movement may concern if balance is the key, then I think it's time you learn. But there is not the problem. So leaders are acknowledged. I don't follow them. I turn it to another degree. If I'm the D.O. to the C and growing like a tree and causing much destruction, but no depression, complimented much, yeah, but never blushing hard like a criminal. That's subliminal in my own right, it's good because I'm original. Oh yeah,
Man, that's that No One Can Do It Better, boy. No one can do it better. Come on, man. Man, let's get into this next, boy. This Whirlwind Pyramid, he be going crazy on this right here, though, boy. Let's check this one out right quick.
They said it was all about knowledge. Now I feel like I got most of it all. Dre, drop it.
Boy, be going in, man. Oh my God, bro. He was so ahead of his time, bro. Super, super, super dope. Man, God, I hated to see that happen to him, bro. I mean, and I honestly wish that, and although the Straight Outta Compton movie was like one of my favorite movies, bro. Like that movie was that was such a super dope. I think they call biopics when I think that was a biopic. But man, it was such a dope movie, man. But I really wish that they had like a spinoff, or even if they had elaborated a little bit more on the D.O.C. and like what happened to him. I know it was you got so much stuff you're trying to squeeze into one movie, but I wish they would have had like a little spinoff or something like that, man, or where they could have like kind of spoken more about like his situation, what happened, and just kind of him just being behind the scenes from that point moving forward, man, writing a lot of stuff for other artists like Dr. Dre and stuff like that. But either way, man, he was just so dope, bro. Like this was one of my favorite MCs back then, man. Like and with just a small sample size, man. You know what I'm saying? It just lets you know like the impact that he had off of the strength of one record, bro. You know what I'm saying? But man, let's get into this joint right here, man. I'm sure y'all probably heard this one before. This was like super popular, man. The Formula.
High energy, born with the wisdom, sense of a rich man, knowledge and the rhythm. This is what I'm using to come up with a style, so I'll interact all together better with the crowd. Nervous for a second and the record starts spinning and I fall into the state of matter what I've just created. Bumping like the doctor, deep into the RE suckers ready to leap up on the tip when we made it. Created so I'll never be regarded as a regular, more than just a little bit better than my competitor. You should never underestimate the fashion. I hope for the stage, whether I'm cooling or flashing. Plugging the concoction created by me. When red you read, D equals the D.O. to the C. Knowledge and the talent that my mother has born to her equals an artist that won't be born. What is that, Dre?
Man. Oh my God, bro. Stop playing, man. Come on, bro. Stop playing. Seriously, bro. That D.O.C. Hey, pull out your CD right now or get to Spotify. Do whatever you do. Do iTunes, whatever it is that you listen to it on, bro. Tell me you ain't finna go bang that right now. I'm telling you. Get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This D.O.C. album was a classic. I put my seal of approval on it, bro. This is a classic album. I'm going to give y'all 2 more joints. This next one, he be going crazy on, bro. This Portrait of a Masterpiece, he be spitting so crazy, he had to actually stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he be going so crazy. But hold on, let me play a little bit of that for y'all right quick.
Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, come on. Let's take a trip, but not of the physical. Sense of direction on the heels of testicle. Through a gallery of sorts, of course, dope. Playing tough like a name on a rope. Watching me with you, set a step over boys. A musical messenger of inadequate noise, mother. No authority. Cause the majority of kids who hear will award superiority to those who know you knew that was inevitable. I laid the track and it's simply unforgettable. Time is only better than gold. I sold it in front of the people, so it's an oversoul. So like, see if you can pass before I get another one. Make it to the everyday like it's done in the sun. Words connected up to another degree. And I'm the only planet this portrait of a masterpiece. It's unquestionable. The lyrics of the D.O.C. is a professional. Nothing explicit to prohibit you from listening up. Crisp and clean. But I'm only 7 up on the side. You're stupid. Don't be running the panic. It's the man on a mission with something more than the attitude is the ordinary. Boring, very few. Going to the mic is the deal to the CU. Made the choice that I don't need to pretend. I'm only a sin. I know about the elevator ends. But in the time between I'm spending, play strong, riding like it's never ending. Keep creating what suckers are hating it now. Keep the upper hand to the responders on the file. Know when you handle the physical torture. I'm being taken in no matter what I support ya. Goals and dreams, although it seems they won't come true. All of that is up to you, yo. But if you can't handle, you need to check those shots like a game.
Man. Oh my God, bro. Man, it's just taking me back, bro. Hey, listen, bro. My pops, man. I love you, pops, man, for putting me onto this. This joint right here was banging, man. This Portrait of a Masterpiece, bro. This is what I was talking about with like changing the cadence and just just spitting it like, the little fast, fast speeds, you know what I mean? Just, man, he was just going in on that joint right there. But this next one right here though, man, is this is obviously like the title says it all, man. This is the grand finale. So this was the last track on there. This is where you had everybody on there, man. You had Cube, you had Ren, you had Easy, you had obviously the D.O.C. on there, man. But the boys went crazy on this, man. I might let this whole one just play, bro. I might just let it go, man. I just depend on how I'm feeling right now. I feel on how I'm vibing, but y'all check this one out right quick.
Check this out. We've come to the last and final record. This is Dr. Dre in full effect. And we're going to kick it off a little something like this. We got my mellow yellow boy on the drums. We got Stan, the guitar man, dropping the rhythm. We got L.A. Dre on the keyboard. And I want the whole posse in this motherfucker rock on this funky ass beat for the drop, alright? So Ice Cube, you the early bird on this motherfucker. Run it.
Picture a nigga that's raw. Amplify his ass, so what you see is what's up. Motherfuckers out slaughter, blow him out the water. Word to me. Fuck the father, my man is deadly as a pin in a hand grenade. 5 seconds before you get played, you can't hold me. I'll get you a blow up. Ever see a sucker scattered and make you throw up? Then I take advantage, you can't manage to get up. All you can do is sit up, I get lit up. Hit up Ice Cube, tear shit up like a dude you can bet on. what I picture. Because I'm gone, you think I left you all, but I stand your ass like cholesterol. When I blast, I'm solid as Alcatraz. And if you escape, you better swim fast, cause I'll catch you physically and mentally. And the capital punishment for penalty. Sit here, let you can't grab a hold. Pull the trigger right quick, your eyes explode out your skull. Cause being dope on the floor is an NO. Niggas didn't know that I can go off and show off the throw off to the law. Turn, take 10 spaces and draw. What's left is a motherfucking dating alley. Ice Cube is the shit on the grand finale. Yeah, that was funky, but now we need the motherfucking roof is filling the speak, so kick it. The grand finale, yours my turn to bust. So let weak motherfuckers turn to dust. If you're weak, it ain't your fault. You take a kick in the ass and get turned into a pillow of salt. And niggas that fight me just to taste me. I make the fuck motherfuckers buckle up for safety. And know that those that come from the flash. And shoot like a bitch when he caught a whiplash. Give it a pain cause I'm urgent. Rearrange the motherfucking face like a surgeon. And ain't no excuse for the quick deliverance. The thing I scared you like it's me shivering. Lyrics label what it makes analogy. I said fuck the police show, so not after me. I'm running by the law, so I stay low. Represent my pimp, my bitches making my dough. In a different stage, I'm up the win on the rampage. Me and the doctor always hit the front page. For what? For doing this, stepping up to the shelter when I enter the party. Niggas shit on themselves, man, for what? Maybe cause I'm red. And when they clean up the shit, yo, they do it again. So fuck it. Sit back cool and relax while easy. Bust the back, kicking a grand for now. Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Easy motherfucking easy in the house doing
Easy, what?
It ain't easy for me to come off like the enforcer. Mass murder motherfuckers in the course of an everyday situation where I was struck by other car. I do a motherfucking walk by. Easy E as the D.O.C. to the C-N. Run house and never be no disagreeing. Cause at the end time, you feel nostalgic. Then I'm arrested for what? Assault battery, never outdone. Only outdoing. Loving the bitches and leave the whole room ruined. Why? Cause they're addicted to what I'm addicted. The pleasure, pain, the wind, dick, inflicted. And don't forget what's done in bed by easy. The name of a constant hard-head is cool, but nothing like low never broke cause it's paid to be ruthless. This is why I do this. I don't give a fuck about fame. I'd rather deal with the number than the motherfucking name. Give me pen and then rap. Cause all the other bullshit without money ain't jack. Easy, but not that easy to deal with. Especially if you're about the bullshit, the EdgeWise into the E. And pressing the thumb on the motherfucking grand finale.
Yeah, that shit was funky. Last but not least is the motherfucking D.O.C. This is your album, so that means you definitely gotta get funky. So run it.
Swinging, singing, a brand new rap on a rhythm. Concocted by my homie in the back end. If it makes you giggle, it must be kinda funny, but to me it's kinda cool.
Tell 'em why.
Making money, tripping up the man with the swift hand movement. Proving if you're grooving, then it's doing it, be doing it. Taking a second for me to blow your mind, cause I'm the diggy cock, and I would've been down with rock, but I was born. The D.O. to the Tino in the formula. This first for me is funky enough for me, and you can have a listen. Nothing else to listen. D.O.N.T.M.O.V.E. without permission. The D.O. to the C, I'm just better than the normal man, and I'll be down for something can. Never complete with the elite. Much less beat, it's like dancing with two left feet. Never smile when the doctor's in the room. All the same, yeah, ass right to the temple of doom. I got wrong when I came to Cali. Now with it W.A. on the motherfucking grand finale.
Yeah, that shit was stupid, yeah. But rock.
Bro, come on, man. Tell me that wasn't slapping, man. Them boys went crazy on there, man. Bro, listen. I know that everybody say, man, and I definitely I would not argue this point, man. That everybody say like Inspector Deck is like the ultimate like leadoff batter, bro. But man, y'all sleeping on Ice Cube as a leadoff batter, bro. Like when Ice Cube was with NWA, like, bro, he sets it off so crazy for the rest of the crew, bro. Like, just think about some of the joints that he had, like he was the leadoff on, bro. This one. Think about, obviously after Police, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he just, man, he's up there, bro. He's up there as one of the top leadoff guys, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because Inspector Deck crazy. He got some of the dopest leadoff verses. He got some of the dopest verses, period. But like, I'm just talking about because everybody always like makes the comments that he's just by far like the dopest leadoff MC ever, and he's definitely up there. Like if he's not number one, he's definitely up there. But the more and more, like when I look back to like Ice Cube back in the day, bro, like Cube used to come with it, bro, like out the gate. And he made it really hard for the other MCs that got on the track for them to really live up to what he started off. Cause I mean, bro, he used to just to come so raw, bro. I miss the old Ice Cube, bro. He used to just be crazy. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. What y'all think about, first of all, what y'all think about the D.O.C, bro? If y'all tell me he wasn't one of the illest back then, y'all tripping, bro. I'm gonna have to really question y'all's freaking hip hop card, y'all's rap card, y'all's whatever, bro. I'm really gonna y'all's joint might be revoked, man, for sure. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the D.O.C, bro. No one can do it better. Classic album. And let me know what y'all think about Ice Cube as a leadoff as the leadoff hitter, bro, on some of these joints, man. But anyways, man, that's all the time I got for today. This has been a real cool episode, man. I really enjoyed this, particularly this music segment. I just anytime I get a chance to reminisce and just, you know, just kind of just go back to when times were simpler, man. And you know what I mean? Like all you had to do was just kind of go to school, man, and play with your friends and you know, listen to music and stuff like that, play sports, man. It was just cool. So this was, like I said, man, this was a great episode for me, man. I really like this one. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man, about the D.O.C and what y'all, you know, think about this episode, and give me some ideas for who y'all want me to talk about as far as you know, taking it back in the day with some of this music. It could be any genre. I promise you, I'm gonna put every genre of music on here, man. I promise you. I promise you, man. I have so much. I have such an eclectic ear for music, man. I promise you, like you're going to hear everything from hip hop, R&B to rock to country. The only thing like I'm like dead set against is like like death metal type stuff, bro. I don't listen to that. That's, you know, when you hear them like nine and all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Say that for the gym. But yeah, it definitely get me amped up at the gym. But yeah, but like I say, man, give me some ideas about what y'all want to hear, what y'all want me to talk about, because you know, I love doing this, man. So like I love reminiscing. I like to hear, you know, other people's, you know, responses as far as, you know, what I'm talking about on here. So give me some ideas, man. In the meantime, man, appreciate all y'all for rocking with me. Thanks again for tuning in for one more episode, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision. Pace and precision. Pace and precision while handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision. Handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision. Handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions.